What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into our Indie Comics weekend, and we are diving into Berserker, issue number 5 and 6. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with Keanu Reeves' Berserker, if you haven't been keeping up with all of our indie comics, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on in this run. But what we have been seeing is the relationship between Diana and B really start to blossom. Diana being the doctor who has been overseeing every aspect of his memories. With them working together, they are trying to unlock the secrets of his origins. With Berserker continuing running missions for the US government, this is their trade-off. They get to create their super soldiers or whatever it is they want to do with him, and in return, he gets the ability to actually live a mortal life, being done with immortality after living 80,000 years. He is more than ready to embrace mortality. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 5, we are picking up with Diana and B. They are currently sitting down at B's house, with Diana trying a new approach. While they can do so much in the lab, if you get him into an isolated situation like this, she's thinking maybe, just maybe, they might be able to pull some memories out. And Diana, she is laying everything out on the table, or at least making B believe that she is laying everything out on the table. Letting B know that she turned down Nobel Prizes because of the work she does. She has never done it for attention. She has always done it for the science, to understand the world around her in ways that nobody else could ever comprehend. And when it comes to Berserker, she really doesn't know where to go next. And they have made some really good progress. Just in the last week, he remembers being born, basically letting everyone know that he is a god. Not knowing really what to do next with all of this information, with Berserker being an unconventional individual, maybe sitting down having a conversation with him will lead to maybe some kind of uncontroversial means. At the very least, it's going to build some kind of connection between the two of them. And this is when Berserker, he puts on some music, and he talks about music throughout the times, saying that after all of these years, everything sounds almost the same to him. The beats, the rhythms, the lyrics, it's the same song sung over and over and over again. Every generation, every century, they have their song, but essentially it says the same thing. It's a yearning, a needing for wanting more, for wanting love, searching for connection. From the earliest primeval days that we have to the current days, the beat has always been the same. It has always been about love. And Diana asked the question, do you want to die so that you can love? And she misunderstands, because Berserker, he has definitely loved before. And as things look like they might start to get a little hot and heavy, Diana says that it's getting late and it's time for her to go. But this has triggered something, some kind of idea in her mind. And so with her taking off for the night, we pick up the next day. And the next day, she is suiting up Berserker, attaching him to some type of machine. And last night gave her an idea, giving him a little bit of a cocktail to drink, hoping that emotions, yearning, love, hoping that these thoughts will bring out some memories that we haven't seen before. And with him plugged into this giant freaking machine, not really understanding what it is or what it does, we see a giant surge of energy all coming at Berserker. This is a brand new protocol that they have just put into effect, hoping that it will bring out some kind of memories inside of him. And with him slowly going into unconscious state, this is when he is brought back 79,990 years ago. Thinking about love, this is the first time he ever felt that. This is the first time he ever fell in love. Sitting riverside, he is met by a giant bear, a towering monster that goes fleeing at the very sight of Berserker. With his glowing blue eyes, the beast wants nothing to do with him. But this was the first time that he saw her. This was his first love. And though this wouldn't be his last love, he was young and he was far from home. And sometimes he would show his true nature, but that always led to the villagers trying to brutally massacre him. And he also attempted to have children, but every time, the child never made it through birth. It was always born dead. And we see B, he is ripped apart, each of his limbs connected to a chain, and the chain held by a man on a horse. As they pull Berserker apart, he thinks about all of the children he has lost. Every time he has tried this, it has failed throughout all of history. And eventually he gave up on love. He gave up on that connection. But after 80,000 years, it comes around. That yearning, it shows its face every once in a while. And he would try again. And every single time, it was always the same fate. The child died. The woman he loves grows old, she dies. The people would see him as a monster and try to murder him. Sometimes successfully, only for him to come back to life and have to do all of it all over again. And so it left him wondering why. Why can't I have this one simple thing? Why can't I have love? Why can't I have a child? Why am I what I am? And with this frustration, we see him charge up, and the entire machine he is connected to, all of that energy, it shoots back out, and the entire place goes crumbling down. With everything broken and shattered around Berserker, with him kneeling on the ground, it's safe to say that they are done for the day. And so with sending Berserker out on mission, there was something more here. Diana working with the professor, they were trying to get some kind of data out of this. And whatever data they were looking for, they got it. Now that is where we are gonna dive into issue number 6 of Keanu Reeves' Berserker. And we are picking up with Berserker and Cleaver. Not just them, but also the rest of the team. Currently in the skies above Ukraine, they are out on mission and they are about to lay down some hate. Of course, sending in Berserker first. He goes in, and 10 minutes later, the rest of the team, they make their way in, only to be completely ambushed. With them outnumbered and almost everybody dead, Berserker is outside and he is going one-on-one with a freaking tank. Lifting this tank up and just throwing it. Another individual shooting an RPG at him. Him grabbing that rocket out of mid-air and throwing it at the tank. With this giant explosion, it gives him and Cleaver the opportunity to exfil. With the helicopter coming in, they jump on board. And as they take to the skies, we see the ground-to-air missiles fire off. And with them firing up into the air, the helicopter is taken down. Berserker and Cleaver falling down to their deaths. Berserker grabs hold of him and makes it to where Berserker is the cushion as they fall. And with body parts, machine parts, flames all around them, we see that Cleaver has been impaled. A stick going directly through his side. Berserker completely burned. He is broken, he is battered, but he is ready to still continue on. But one thing they do know is that the Ukrainian army will be coming for them. Not only that, they have no exfil. They have to get to a safe area, an area where they'll be able to bring in helicopters without having any kind of concern. And as they come up to a river, their first thought is maybe we can take this boat and make our way to safe haven. The only issue is Berserker, looking back at a time where he was shipwrecked, thrown into the ocean, and almost died. So going on the sea in a boat, that's really not his style anymore. He would much rather just take the hike. And as they're making their way down the trails, Berserker remembers these mountains. He has been in these mountains and lets Cleaver know that everything is going to be fine. And as they sit down for the night, Berserker, he makes some kind of paste. This is going to help his wounds heal up. And Cleaver asking the question, how do you know these mountains? And he knows them because he's fought in them. And Cleaver also wants to know, how do you pick what side is the right side? And though there have been times where he's tried to decipher what is necessarily good, what is bad, what is politically right, what is politically wrong, at the end of the day, it always gets muggy, it always gets foggy, and it's hard to tell who is the good guy and who is the bad guy. In some situations, it's very plain to see, but in other situations, it can become very difficult. But as they rest for the night, they get up the next morning and they start traversing the land, getting up and over these mountains, B helping him every step of the way. Day turns to night and night turns to day. They find themselves against a huge pack of wolves, but Berserker tells him they need not worry. And that is because these wolves, they know him. Maybe not these wolves in particular, but in their DNA, their ancestors had fought against Berserker in the past. And back then, he let it be known that he was not someone you wanted to mess with. And so sitting down by the fire one evening, Cleaver asked the question, "You've seen so much conflict in your life, why did you pick our side?" And he tells him that there is only so much he can do to keep Berserker at bay, to keep the monster that lives inside of him at bay. But the protocols, they have been helping him. And for so many years, at least during peacetime, he tries to hide that violence. In the early days, he was seen as a savior, a gift from the gods. In the age of gods and heroes, it was a much different kind of life for him. He was something that humanity could believe in, something that was possible, the myths and legends of old. But as the times grew on, he became something that was impossible, something that should not be. And this caused his need to hide. And so over time, hero, villain, god, it didn't matter. He doesn't want to kill, and he cannot die. He is hoping that with the science the American government is offering, that he might have some kind of morality yet again, and just be him. With them getting a little bit more rest, we see Berserker throw him over his shoulder, and they start hiking their way out of here. And as he is making this hike, he is letting it be known that he is kind of curious on who his father is, and he hopes one day that he might actually be able to meet him. And that if his father won't come to him, he will go out searching for him himself. With them finally getting to a safe location, they call in the helicopter and they get their exfil. Now the whole time, Diana and the professor, they were listening in. They had gone into Ukraine to get some kind of object. This object Cleaver had retrieved, and now the professor has. After hearing the entire conversation between him and B, we find out that they left them out there. They could have extracted them at any point in time, but they really wanted that brotherly love, brothers in arms type of camaraderie to build up, and for Berserker to reveal some kind of new information. And that new information that we learned is that he believes in the protocols, but not only that, he is thinking about going off reservation so that he can find his father. And with the professor not wanting that to happen, he tells Diana that it is time to initiate Protocol X. Not really sure what this means. He insinuates that they are going to open up Brzrkr and find out what is really inside. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, this will get us caught up on everything that is currently coming out of Brzrkr. You know, and I've said it from day one, the artwork, it's just not my style. You know, I love this comic, I love the story, I love the aspects and the direction that they're going with it, but the artwork, it just seems to be lacking, especially when your Kickstarter was the biggest Kickstarter to ever happen for comic books, the most sponsored comic to ever exist, and the artwork is subpar at best. But I do find the last couple of issues relatively interesting because we're finding out more and more about who Berserker is, where he came from, and how his powers came to be. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see them try to replicate this godly power, trying to replicate what his mother did in that cave, because that's my biggest assumption right now, is that they're going to try to replicate that power. And maybe, just maybe, when he was hooked up to that machine, they were either gathering the power from him or they were trying to figure out how that power is manifested. But with a story having tons of potential, with a Netflix movie, I believe, coming out and an animated series, there is a lot more to come from this story. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.